There's no case too big, no case too small. When you need help, just call Ch-ch-ch-ch-Bandales. Rescue Rangers, Ch-ch-ch-Bandales. When there's danger, no, it never fails. Once they're involved, somehow whatever's wrong gets solved. Ch-ch-ch-ch.
All right, it got pretty warm out, so decided to go hit this park up with a buddy to fly some stuff around, really drive this Typhon around. So driving the 04 Pro around, really trying to give the ESC and motor some work, because I got a 19 tooth pinion on there again, and I've 3D printed some stuff. I added some stuff to it, but this is just the deal with the dash cam on it, and I don't know, maybe it'll show up a little better, but I always tend to screw up my freaking lighting settings. Looks alright on this drone a little bit, but I just usually have it set up to fly around in lower light. And my buddy got his chopper stuck in the tree, just managed to finagle it out. But yeah, I'm just gonna drive this guy around. Alright, so if you do use the dash cam kind of setup like I am, you want to make sure that you set the G sensor calibration before you modify it to a point where you no longer have access to the menu, right? So luckily I can still just barely finagle those buttons, but that's what's going to happen if you don't have that sensor set right and you just constantly think you're crashing every little jostle you take, right? It's going to try to lock the video file. Obviously, it still might come back in if you take a real hard impact, right? So here's just some random walk snail footage, since us Americans are kind of iffy on the DJI right now. So I haven't shown a lot of walk snail, but again, works pretty decent to me. I don't really like this car, but I just decided to keep it. So I put the Avatar GT transmitter on there. It's got a Caddx gimbal. The only downside is I haven't set the gimbal. I didn't have enough channels to set the gimbal up right, so it's just basically all factory, and I've only got left and right yaw because I've got the laser on there. So I actually can set this to where it stabilizes much better, right? But then you've got the downside of how it still doesn't really fully lock like how you want. So if you notice, the way this is working is it'll very slightly stabilize, but it doesn't stabilize a whole lot. So once you start getting on too much rough terrain, that gimbal can't handle it anymore. But again, it's all right when you set it up right. It's just not doing it justice in this video because it's basically not set to compensate all that much, I guess you could say, right? It's more or less 3-axis lock, I think, right now. This is the 3-axis lock setting on it, right? And it doesn't fully lock. I mean, it's hard to explain. It doesn't perfectly track. So there's a little bit of delay when you turn left and right. But anyway, this thing is hard enough to drive as it is. So once again, walk snail, not bad. Sitting in my room, picking it up on the standalone receiver, connected to a monitor, driving it around. The signal, it's similar. It's not as good as DJI. Also, when you start to lose the signal, it starts to get all kind of wishy-washy on the image rather than just sort of maybe pixelated and blurry. But otherwise, again, if you're an American, you want a cool little FPV system. I mean, even the old ones, I think, from what I understand, like ADHD RC, he's always said, hey, man, get one of them first generation walk snails because it doesn't have all that fancy, the bells and whistles bull crap along with it. Those work fine, right? You've seen some pretty good range with a lot of these guys. So, again, not everything works the same for everyone, apparently, because I myself had a whole lot of troubles with, certain analog systems that other people had great results with. But again, this is just a random little walk snail compilation that I forgot to have the audio recorded for. So again, the main difference, I would say, and if you're just using it the way I am, the main difference you're really going to notice is like, oh, okay, well, when I get to a certain point behind certain obstructions that I would normally be able to go around with the 04, I'm just not able to do it on the walk snail, right? I mean, that's all it is. Is it that much of a difference? It all depends. It all depends on whether that specific obstruction at the time was very important. But I guess technically speaking, it's really not that huge of a difference, right? Yeah, can it go down in that pipe? Yeah, I don't know why. I guess I decided I didn't want to go in there because I'm not armed with gel balls right now. I'm just driving it around. But yeah, it'll go down in that pipe. It won't lose signal. I mean, I can't go all the way through it, but I can go about as far as I can see right now. It's held up through the weather, you know what I mean? Like it's not been a crap system, so I really haven't had any reason to be like, oh man, we're screwed because walk snail just ain't doing it. I don't know about the stuff they're coming out with now, right? I 3D printed this little bastard, little mud flaps, and a little just little things that kind of cool on little A1 Mini, which is an awesome 3D printer. They got a little cage for the my big rock truck. Actually looks kind of cool. It's a little random crap. All right, so you can see this Fireteam. It's kind of set up the same way. Got that dash cam in there, sort of partially covered, right? The little lens. All right, so this guy, again, not a bad deal, you know. I mean, for people who are just like sort of new to this, have no idea. I mean, it's an air unit. You could see. I mean, here goes the 04 on this drone. It's the same damn thing. You got a camera, transmitter module, antennas. You know, camera, transmitter module, antennas, different system. Of course, proprietary DJI, which we're not going to worry too much about this moment. This guy, I got this weird, you know, setup like this. This is real sloppy right now because I kept moving it around. But yeah, I got a little, the receiver attached to that little screen and a battery. That's the mobile. And when I'm just chilling in here, I just kind of run it down to this bigger one, right? So again, that's the kind of setup in the last video. I'll just be kind of chilling right here. Antenna just sitting like that in the room, driving around. All right, if you're the type that just prefers to drive at night anyway, well, I would probably recommend you get the Walk Snail anyway, because their cameras, you know, are very good for that.